Up on the edge of Lake Ontario, where Mr. Artel, he has been feeding birds in his front yard. Now, this is a wonderful thing to do, especially in the winter months in the Northern Hemisphere, because many birds are reduced because they just can't get access to food. Now, this gentleman has been feeding the birds in his yard with peanuts and seeds, but apparently there's a local ordinance in his town that says you can only put out 2 bird feeders per garden. And apparently 3 times now, this gentleman has been prosecuted for having more than the allocated number of bird feeders in his yard. Now, I'm not quite sure why the local council has a rule about the number of feeders, and there may well be very good reasons why neighbours have problems with the numbers of birds or whatever. I don't know. But what I do know is there's been an outrage around America about this poor gentleman being arrested and charged by his local police for feeding the birds in his yard. And many of the reports that I've seen run along the lines of, you know, don't the police have better things to do with their time than arrest people for feeding birds? Maybe there's more important things about, and that may be the case. But I'm sure the local council has reasons why they would have restrictions on the numbers. And of course, if you feed many birds in your yard, it can have an impact, particularly in Australia, for example, with cockatoos, where I know there are restrictions for feeding white cockatoos because of the damage they can do around feeding sites. But nevertheless, the fact that this gentleman has been arrested now 3 times for feeding birds in his yard is a bit of a sad story, because we really do want to do everything we can to look after birds and encourage birds. But that's a story from New York State this week.